Hey y'all, this is an example or exemplar research proposal for the HLIA. So this is the first thing you'll be turning in August when you get back to school. And this is essentially an overview document for your IA. It has many pieces, and this particular layout and format has been successful for students in the past. So I'd recommend using it. Keeps things very organized and also includes everything that the IB examiners would like to see. This version in particular, I've gone through and I've highlighted or used red text to annotate it to provide additional detail and clarification. And again, if you have other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So let's start at the top. At the very top, you have your research question. And again, the research question should be more tactical. It shouldn't be big picture vision, mission, or strategy. Those are more difficult to answer. HR questions, what to do about certain people, those types of concerns can also be very challenging. So if you're interested in doing one of those, please talk to me so we can strategize the best way to go about it. But generally speaking, tactical questions are the easiest to address. Second part, the rationale for study. This is a brief background on who the company is, what their competitive situation is, what challenge they're facing, and why the selection of the RQ, the research question that you've chosen, is important to them. How does it affect their business? Why is it meaningful to them? Moving on down, you have the relevant areas of the syllabus. So these are the particular parts from the business management curriculum or syllabus, excuse me, that you'll be basing most of your IA on. So most of the theories, the tools, the techniques come from these areas. So in this case, the student has selected 1.7, 3.5, and 4.2, and they've gone through and they've listed in short order some of the major things that they will be taking from that section of the syllabus. And in this case, force field analysis, they've underlined the word to indicate that this is one of the TTTs that they'll be using. And then same for ratio analysis and market planning. The continuing to move down the document, individuals to approach. These are the people you'll talk to or your primary points of contact at the company. Usually you'll have their name and then also their role or their title at the company. In some cases, firms valuing their privacy and confidentiality may not want their names to be displayed. We can certainly talk about that. That's been the case for some companies in the past, and we can certainly redact or black out their names in the final document. Moving on to methodology or how you're going to do your IA and gathering information, we have primary and secondary research. Primary research, in person interviews, email interviews, and surveys. In each case, you should give an indication of the types of questions you'll be asking in each of the interviews or the survey. And with the survey in particular, you should really focus on who you'll ask, what you'll ask, and then how you'll use the data once you get the data from them. So sometimes the survey could be employees of that company, and sometimes it could be customers of that company. So you'll need to decide based upon the company's competitive situation once you have your initial conversations. Secondary research, research speaking to or accessing information not directly through the company in all cases. So competitor websites, what are other competitors of your target company for your IA doing and how are they doing it? And then profit and loss statement, financial information from the firm itself. Now, one note about this, it can be difficult sometimes to get access to financial information from a firm. It is confidential, it is private, and not all firms will be willing to share. So if you are rejected, don't take it personally. They are simply trying to maintain their competitive advantage. So this may be one area where you may have difficulty getting information. Anticipated difficulties, the student is going through and talking about briefly again what types of problems they anticipate having in the course of conducting the research for their IA and writing it. And again, confidentiality is often one. Representativeness, this getting specifically to the surveys and maybe problems with the surveys. And then the website information and data that they're gathering. So again, yours may differ. They will not be the same difficulties. You may have separate difficulties, but again, list 2 or 3 difficulties you anticipate having. Action plan, their calendar, or this student's calendar is a little bit different than ours. It starts in January, ends in November. Ours is ending in May, technically speaking, with the IB exam. But their action plan includes a lot of the steps you will likely include in your action plan. So, timeline on the horizontal axis, and then include the steps you will be undertaking vertically, and then just X out or show where you're going to be conducting each of these steps. And the last part, and also very important, include the word count. It needs to be below 500 words. It may not, under any circumstances, exceed 500 words. If you have any questions about any of this and would like to ask me about your research proposal, please do not hesitate to contact me.